Democratic origins trace back to ancient Greece in the 5th century BC. Majority rule is a core principle in democratic decision-making. The word democracy comes from the Greek words demos and kratos. Representative democracy involves elected officials representing the will of the people. Direct democracy allows citizens to participate directly in decision-making. The United States is a federal republic with democratic principles. Universal suffrage grants all eligible citizens the right to vote. Democratic governance emphasizes protection of individual rights and freedoms. Democratic countries often have a system of checks and balances in government. Democracies vary in political systems, including parliamentary and presidential. Democracy has evolved globally with diverse models and cultural adaptations. Elected leaders in a democracy are accountable to the electorate. Democracy promotes peaceful transitions of power through regular elections. Civic education is crucial for informed and engaged democratic citizenship. Democratic values include equality, justice, and respect for human rights. Democratic institutions aim to promote transparency, accountability, and fairness. Democracies tend to have a vibrant civil society and free media. In a pluralistic democracy, diverse opinions and perspectives coexist. Democratic governance encourages participation in civic activities beyond voting. The concept of one person, one vote is central to democratic representation. Rule of law is a fundamental pillar in democratic societies. Democratic decision-making often involves public deliberation and consensus building. Democratic nations generally prioritize human development and well-being. Civil liberties and political rights are safeguarded in democratic constitutions. Democracies face challenges such as voter apathy and political polarization. Democratic transitions may encounter periods of instability and consolidation. Democracy is not immune to criticisms, debates, and ongoing improvements. Democratic systems accommodate diverse political parties representing various ideologies. Democratic governance aims to address social and economic inequalities. Democratic principles are embedded in international organizations like the UN. Electoral systems in democracies vary, including first-past-the-post and proportional representation. Citizen participation extends beyond voting to include activism and community engagement. Democratic legitimacy relies on free and fair elections with broad participation. Democratic peace theory suggests that democracies are less likely to go to war. Democratic governance promotes stability through peaceful resolutions of political conflicts. The concept of democratic governance is rooted in Enlightenment philosophy. Democratic ideals often prioritize the protection of minority rights. Democracies encourage public discourse and debate as essential elements of civic life. Democratic constitutions typically include provisions for separation of powers. Democracy requires an informed and educated citizenry for its success. Democratic transitions may face challenges of building inclusive institutions. Democratic governance values the rule of the people while respecting individual rights. Democratic principles influence international relations, promoting diplomacy over force. Democratic norms and values underpin efforts to combat corruption globally. The democratic process involves a continuous cycle of elections and governance. Democratic governance adapts to social and technological changes over time. Democratic participation includes involvement in local, national, and international decision-making. Democratic societies emphasize the importance of protecting minority rights. Democratic ideals emphasize cooperation, compromise, and consensus building in governance. Democratic governance aims to create inclusive policies for diverse populations.